We are due for a sun gazing video. So I talked previously about the ancient practice of sun gazing and the immense benefits that one begins to experience immediately almost upon taking up the practice, or at least as you start to advance into it. So I'm going to give you the methodology, the conventional methodology for doing sun gazing, and that's the Hira Manek method. Hira Manek is an Indian man who has gone through three independent scientific studies to see if he can go on without eating, as he claims, because he claims that he does not need to eat, that all his energy requirements are derived from his practice for many years now of sun gazing. So he claims that after 9 months of doing that, you could your let's say your desire and craving for food disappears because you're being sustained now off of solar energy. So he's gone through three different scientific studies, the longest one being 411 days. They've monitored him with cameras and everything. I don't remember for that specific study which university. It was a university study. I don't remember which university, but he lasted for 411 days, and well, they ended the study because they realized, this guy can go on forever. He drank water, that's about it. Water and I think buttermilk from time to time, and maybe tea as well. But he did not take anything that has calories in it. So three studies, the longest one being 411 days. So he says that he's fully powered off of the photons from the sun, and that after doing the practice for 9 months to a year, if you do it persistently and consistently and you believe in the process, you will be able to do what plants do. So human photosynthesis through the sun. You will be able to derive energy, ATP, that you could use for anything through the big boss, because all the foods, the physical foods that you eat, it's the middleman. If you eat plants, that's the middleman, and if you eat animals, that's two middlemen. And it's good business practice to cut out the middleman if you can, because there you could make more money that way. And so if you could cut out the middleman, well, guess what? You, in a way, make money, because, money is energy in this case. Because, well, if you're not eating physical food at all, you could expect your sleep requirements to go down all the way to 3 hours. Okay? So you just bought yourself 5 more hours, because the reason why we sleep so much is because we eat. We eat, we have to process the food, and it's an energy intensive process that puts the human being for 1/3 of their life in an unconscious state. Okay, when you think about it, it's kind of pathetic. It is pathetic because there are other ways to go on about life that make you much more efficient and much more conscious. So you would be, by cutting out the middleman in business, you make more money, you get more energy that way. Okay, and then we're talking longevity and possibly immortality too, because your body will just keep renewing itself. That's the thing. Nature goes on forever. Renewing itself goes on forever. Your body is part of nature. So anyway, that's a different talk altogether, the whole immortality thing. However, longevity is definitely a guarantee, and just incredible levels of energy. So things you could expect, and I'll give you his method. Things you could expect out of this practice. If you're depressed, that's going to go away after a few months of doing this. The peacefulness and the stillness. You just, if you meditate and you do breath work, And then if you just go and look at the sun, okay, just look at the sun. And if you're trained enough to observe your breath, you will see that automatically within 5 minutes of sun gazing, your breath slows down, because you're in the presence of stillness, calmness. If God is light, then the closest thing to God is the sun, as far as this solar system is concerned, because it is the light. Okay, and at first somebody said that the sun is the pineal gland of the solar system, which gives you something to think about. So the stillness, the quietness, it reminds you of who you are, because you're always looking at yourself, right? Anytime you're looking at consciousness experiencing itself, in yourself experiencing yourself as a tree, as a plant, as a sun, as a star. And stars are incredible sources of energy. I've been watching a few documentaries on the sun, and man, like the energy that it generates, it's incomprehensible to the human brain. You can't comprehend it. I mean, the whole thing is powered by the sun, the planet, and all the elements within it. You have 5 elements. You have earth, air, atmosphere, right? Wind, let's say, and then you have earth, water, and those 3 come out of fire. That's the sun. And then the sun comes out of space, which is the void, which is consciousness, space is just a metaphor. It's dark matter. They say most of the universe is dark matter. That's consciousness. So then the sun, the light, comes out of that dark energy, that void, the darkness, and that's consciousness. So, but you could see that the as far as the 4 elements is concerned, minus space, that all the 3 elements come out of the sun. And so it's incredible. So yeah, you could, if you have anxiety or depression or anything like that, you start taking up a consistent practice of sun gazing and just watch what happens. If you're not too interested in the longevity part and basically being sustained off of the sun energetically, just for if you want better just day-to-day life, it's an absolute incredible practice to take with you, and it's for free, and it's accessible to anybody. It's the same sun. The sun just shines on everybody. It doesn't matter. So the methodology itself goes like this. You have to do this in the first hour of sunrise, within the first hour of sunrise, and within the last hour before sunset. So if your sunrise is at 6 a.m., your window of opportunity is from 6 to 7 a.m. You could sun gaze. If your sunset is at 6 p.m., your window of opportunity to sun gaze in the evening is 5 to 6. Okay? 5 6. That's when it's completely, absolutely, without a doubt, safe to look at the sun. That's just not even, there's no argument there. Okay? And Hira Manek worked with scientists, and he still does. So yeah, it's totally safe in those hours. Totally safe. You don't have to be paranoid. Absolutely safe. And you start off with just 10 seconds. That's it. So day 1, 10 seconds. That's it. You look at the sun for 10 seconds. Tomorrow you come back, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Now, if it gets cloudy for 5 days, 6 days, just record where you were last time. If you were at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, stop there. When you come back, you return, you go 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay? And so 3 months of doing this should give you, I believe, 15 minutes. Is that right? 15 minutes? Because you've got 150 times 10. Yeah, 15 minutes. And then six months will give you 30 minutes. So you'll be able to look at the sun for 30 minutes by 6 months. And by 9 months, you'll be able to look at it for 45 minutes, which is usually when you start to experience your hunger dissipate. And it doesn't happen like, suddenly, boom. You'll start to see it slowly happen. Okay, you'll start to see it slowly happen as your hunger will begin to dissipate, will begin to disappear bit by bit. and replaced by energy from the sun, photons, ATP. Just turns into ATP right away. Available, ready and available to use. And so when you look at our body, it's a lot like a car. Okay, and I'll explain to you that in a second, but let's finish off with the method now. Let's see, what kind of questions would you guys have? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of questions here, so just leave me in the comments anything about the actual methodology, but that's the basic of it. That's the meat and the butter of it. Okay, do you need to do it both day and night? You don't need to. You could just do it once. I did it this morning, and it's quite a bit of clouds today. I don't know if it'll be good for sunset. You know, it doesn't look like it'll be a good scene. It was a really good scene in the morning though, clear skies. But it doesn't look like it. So, but if for me, you know, because I sort of kind of live I live my life in nature. I'll do it twice just because, why not? Because I can. But you don't have to. You just do it once. Pick whichever time is good for you. And you know, here Manek says to have your feet to the ground, like dirt, for example, right? Like this is dirt and sand, and he says it's advisable not to do it on grass, but I do it on grass too. If there's no dirt available, I'll just do it on grass. I don't think that's a big deal, because he says if it's winter, just leave your shoes on as long as you're doing the practice. So I don't think that's too big of an issue. Okay, if you need to be in shoes, you need to be in shoes also. Okay, and what else is there to it? That's about it. It's very simple, very, very simple. Now I want to talk back to that point, our bodies. So right now when we eat food, that's fossil fuels. I mean, we designed cars after our bodies. Our bodies are cars, basically, vehicles to navigate through this dimension. So food is fossil fuels. We use fossil fuels for our cars, right? Food is the same thing. And you should chew your food, because when you put fossil fuels into a car, it's liquid form. It's not chunks. It has to go through processes and make sure it's liquid. Same thing. Make sure when you eat, you liquefy your food before drink your food. However, what are we doing with our cars now? We're switching over to electricity. We're switching over to hydro. We're switching over to solar. And so what you could do, as it turns out, with your body is the same thing as we're doing with our cars. You could start to shift into these alternative fuels, and you could also operate. I mean, there are cars out there right now that operate on fossil fuels and solar at the same time, fossil fuels and electrical at the same time. So you could do this with your body also. So then at least you would eat less, and that'll just have a huge, by the way, guys, we die because we eat. Our metabolism breaks down. Every disease you can think of is because of overeating. Almost every disease. Okay, almost. Or let's say you catch something, your weak immunity is due to you eating too much food. So then you catch something here and there or whatever. Your body is incredible. It should be able to fight it. Sickness should not exist in a healthy body. It doesn't matter. But it can't, because you're eating, and digestion takes such a huge toll. We sleep 8 hours because of it, that if you catch something, your immunity can't handle it, doesn't have the energy or the time to deal with it, because it's got to digest all the food that's coming in. That's why animals instinctually fast when they are injured or they're sick in nature. They just instinctually do it. Okay, take that. So it turns out we could do the same with our bodies. We could operate them with all these different sources, and I just don't see anybody in their right mind wanting to operate their body as their car in fossil fuels. If somebody came and handed them a brand new car that operates on solar, said, "Look, you don't have to pay me anything here," and nobody in their right mind would say, "No, it's okay. I wanna do it fossil fuels." Yeah, you might argue they call them motorheads, right? I was a big fan of Top Gear at some point. I was really obsessed with cars. And I don't think these guys would like solar very much. They're motorheads. They like the sound. You see? They like the sound of the cars. But anyway, nobody in their right mind. Okay, I'm talking about somebody that has a mind. Okay? would refuse if somebody comes and says, look, it's for free, you don't have to pay. Here's a solar powered car, it's for free. So you ain't gotta spend no more money on gas, and you don't harm the environment no more, and you just get all the energy from the sun. Nobody in their right mind. So nobody in their right mind who knows they can turn this vehicle here to become solar powered for free would not take up the call, would not answer it. You know, at least reduce the fossil fuel consumption. If that happens, that's great. And lots of people who've done the practice now for 9+ months, not a lot of people, or some people reported they don't eat no more hunger, or no more hunger, but they still eat a little bit. But almost everybody reported that the hunger decreases. The people who've done it 9 months and longer. I've read lots of accounts online. Almost everybody reported that they, maybe like 70% of people, 80% of people reported that they don't feel as hungry anymore. They're not inclined to eat as much. Their food consumption went down drastically. So again, nobody in their right mind, knowing this ancient knowledge, this is ancient knowledge. They call it in Hindu tradition Surya Yoga, and you could look up. I don't remember his name. Look up sun gazing no food on YouTube. Just type that. You'll see an Indian man, some holy man. Okay, and God, I can't remember his name. And he's also gone through some scientific studies in India, and actually, his mouth produces this thing here it's got a sweet taste to it, and he pulled it out of his mouth. So apparently that starts to happen also, is you start to actually, there's a substance that your body begins to secrete if you do this long enough. And so you have to obviously believe in the process. You have to actually sit there and take in the sun also. So how do you do that? So if you meditate and you slow down your breathing, so if you're sun gazing and you slow down your breath, you just observe your breath as you sun gaze, the slower and slower your breath is, the more and more of the sun's energy you'll be able to take. Plain and simple. If you're hyperventilating while you're looking at the sun just for the hell of it, you're not going to get as much of the sun's energy. So if you're able, and the sun will calm you down, but if you even put in the conscious effort to calm down, so observe your breath as you look at the sun, the slower and slower your breath is, the more and more of the sun's energy you'll be able to catch through your eyes. I mean, it may not take you 9 months. If you're really good at meditation and focus, you could probably grab the sun's energy right away. Actually, you will be grabbing the sun's energy right away. It won't take you 9 months. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. If your level of focus is so high and you're able to become the sun and slow down your breathing so much, you could get it right now, like right away. And so this is the method. This is the conventional of it. And yeah, it's a great practice to use to start powering yourself with all these alternative ways, alternative energies. They're just much cleaner and sustainable. And I mean, the benefits are endless, absolutely endless. And the pleasure that you get from sun gazing, I mean, it does not compare. I mean, I ate while I was sun gazing yesterday. Okay, I didn't even care what I was eating. I was looking at the sun the whole time, and I was eating and I was tasting, but I didn't care. I did not care about the food. I was just like, the pleasure I was having from the sun gazing overpowered any sense of pleasure that I would otherwise get from, experiencing the taste of certain foods. And I had quite a bit of, different assortments of food as I was doing that. And so that's when I said, because this is the only time I sun gaze with food, I said, I'm not gonna eat anymore when I'm sun gazing, because this, it truly, the pleasure of a meal does not compare, of food does not compare to the pleasure of just being with the sun. And I've been doing it now for a few months, and I'm already doing longer times. You know, I'm not waiting because your eyes tell you everything. Okay, my eyes are perfectly adjusted by now, and the sun accepts me looking at it, because if the sun doesn't accept you, your eyes will hurt you. So I've gone beyond, you know, even though it's only been a few months, but I've gone beyond the recommended times now. So you could sort of expand there and see how you feel, see how your eyes feel if you want to, but always keep the safety in mind. If your eyes start to hurt a little bit, just follow the conventional way and it'll get you there. Okay, you know, again, Hira Manek works with scientists, and he knows his shit. What else? Did I want to say something? I feel like I wanted to say something else that I didn't say. Yeah, you know what? I think that's about it. We'll finish the video here. I want to thank all our beautiful Patreons for supporting this channel. We've got, again, more people pledging support. So I want to thank you guys. The family is growing and makes me very happy and excited. And I know we will be able to do this full time at some point. So if you would like to pledge your support, I mean, just put in, you know, a couple of bucks a month and forget about it. What's that gonna do to you? A couple of bucks a month? Honestly, that's that. You know, if you like the videos and if I happen to be one of your favorite content creators, you could give me the opportunity to do this full time. And yeah, I mean, I turn up some very good videos here. If I do this full time, I'll turn up even better videos. So if you'd like to pledge your support that way, you could go to Patreon. The link is in the description. Otherwise, enjoy the show. And until next time, may the force be with you.